Hi grade 8. Sorry I can't be here on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday this week. I'm very busy, lots of things going on, but I did want to make sure that you guys got all the right instructions so you guys can move ahead with your project. Your supply teacher is going to be giving you the calendar of the events for all that's happening in our unit, all the way up to CASA week. So please make sure that you look it over, get out a highlighter, and actually highlight the parts for your class so that you know exactly what's happening on each day, and that way if you're away, you also know what was happening so you can get caught up very quickly. Now, looking at our puppets, we need to do some things. Today, you should have your designs done, unless you're in 8.3. 8.3 isn't due until Wednesday. So please make sure that you use your time very wisely to complete your designs. If you're not done, please make sure that you make record of that on the sign-up sheet. But I also need to see exactly what puppets that you were responsible for so that I know what ones to look for when I'm back. Okay, so something to think about when you're doing your designs, okay? If you haven't already done so, make sure you take a look back if you've already finished them to make sure that they fit these right criterion, okay? Your puppet definitely needs to have a side profile head. Your body should be wide, okay? That's how you're going to be able to see the most of your design. If you turn it this way, you're going to get a really narrow look to your design, and it's going to have your arm moving like this, okay? The same doesn't apply for some of the animal characters. You want to make sure that it makes best use. Less blob, more detail, as we've been saying, okay? So make sure that it's a wide shoulder and a side head, okay? It needs to follow that if you're doing any humans, okay? More detail, the better. Now, in your designs, what you are going to be doing after you've got them completed and you're 100% sure that you would like to move on, this is your chance to now start drawing on the Bristol board in which we're making it. Think about the size of your puppet as well. So, what you'll be getting is a half of a piece of Bristol board. The Bristol board generally are quite a bit bigger, but this is the size that you're going to be getting. The reason why you're not getting a bigger size, I'm going to pre-cut them, is because your puppet really only needs to be about the size of that paper. If you go much bigger than that, even if you've got like a troll or something like that, you might want to make it a slightly bigger, but anything giant will actually look quite silly on your screen because your background won't be as big as that. When you're doing the backgrounds, remember that you cannot use the whole side of the transparency paper. You need to make sure it's only the sides that, only the center part that's really used, and the sides can just include some details and things. Writing and specific things on the edges will not show up on the screen. So, back to puppets. What you need to do is you need to make sure that you draw out your design. Now, the pencil marking won't show up as well, but you will be able to see it. Okay, it just won't be as bright. Make sure that you have your name and your class number on it so we don't get it confused. I've provided some bins that are going to sit at the front and they've got your class number on them. Make sure that any designs and things that you have, you put in the appropriate basket so they don't get lost. Okay, you don't want all your hard work to go missing. When you are doing this, please make sure that you measure twice and cut once. Now what I mean by that is that I want you to make sure it is perfect the way that you want it to have the outline, because as soon as you start cutting the outline, it's harder to add to it. Yes, you can tape things on and stuff like that, but it makes it a little bit more difficult if you don't already just have the original shape. Make sure it's perfect. Ask your group members. Ask them what they think. Do they like it? What would they change before you start cutting? Okay? Because we don't want to waste any paper, and it would be a real big waste if you started cutting and then you said you didn't like it. Okay, so measure twice, cut once. When you are designing your arms, if you're having a movable part, make sure that you have arms that are separate pieces. And I've explained this on the board as well, so I can hopefully make sense of this. When you design an arm on a person, what you need to consider is that the arm itself has a joint, okay? So it usually has a joint in the shoulder and one in the elbow. You don't have to worry so much about the wrist one unless you want this motion to happen with the wrist, okay? Otherwise, I'm quite okay with this happening as long as the wrist not moving. It's up to you really how you would like it to move. Now, when you are designing your arms, you need to make sure that you don't shorten your arm. If you design it just like this, and then you take scissors and you cut it here and cut it here, what's going to happen is that when you start putting the arms together with the brass pieces to make it twist, you need to actually overlap the pieces. What then happens if you've only cut an arm like this, it shortens, okay? It gets quite a bit shorter. It looks really, really funny because one is like a half-size arm and the other one's a regular size arm. So to get around that, what you're going to do is you're going to design your arms into pieces. So I've got the hand piece and I've got the arm piece. What I would do is I would attach it together so that it will rotate. I can now cut it because I don't need it to be that long, but what I do want to make sure is that I don't make it too short that it looks really funny, okay? Try to keep your arms and legs fairly wide because the thinner you make it, the harder it is to attach with the brass tacks so that it will actually rotate. What they do, they tend to become flimsy when they're too small and it makes it really, really difficult. Anyways, I think that's all that I needed to let you know. I will be back on Thursday, so if you want to stop by the drama classroom on Thursday to come and see me and ask me any questions, I would be happy to help. I'll also be here on Wednesday after school because I'm coming in for the drum practice for UN dance. So, grade 8s, good luck. I wish you the best, and I can't wait to see all your designs when I come back.